Her voice trembled, just enough to sound human, not enough to sound sorry. "I'm not ready to commit," she whispered, eyes fixed on the candle between us. The flame shivered as if it, too, sensed the lie. For a moment I couldn't move. The restaurant around us hummed with quiet laughter, forks tapping plates, wine glasses clinking, normal sounds that mocked how unnatural the air between us had become. I studied her face under the dim amber light, memorizing the small twitch in her jaw, the way her pupils darted slightly to the right before she spoke again. "It's not about you, Daniel," she said. "It's about me. I just need time." I smiled quietly. I'd learned, somewhere between her late-night work calls and the sudden change of passcodes, that silence unsettled her more than anger ever could. That's what she wanted. But time was exactly what I'd been giving her. Time to hang herself with her own secrets. 3 weeks earlier, I'd found the first thread unraveling. A text, half hidden, carelessly buried under grocery reminders and her mother's forwarded memes. "Can't wait to see you again. Same place. No name saved. Just a number. The kind of message you delete if you're careful. The kind you forget if you don't care enough." First I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a friend. Maybe a misunderstanding. I wanted to believe that. God, I did. Because the alternative meant accepting that the woman who traced hearts on my palm while falling asleep was quietly sketching lies behind my back. I didn't confront her. I watched, listened, waited. Love makes you patient, right up until it makes you sick. Tonight, the sickness tasted like rosemary and wine. She looked beautiful. Too beautiful. Her dress was new, the deep burgundy kind of red that doesn't whisper romance. It screams danger. Her perfume was heavier than usual, musky, intimate. I knew that scent. It was the one she wore the first time she stayed over. The first time she told me she loved me. My fork scraped against the plate. "So," I said, trying to sound casual, "you're not ready. After 2 years." She exhaled, eyes softening, almost pitying. "Daniel, I care about you. I just don't think we should rush into anything long-term right now." Leaned back. "Rush?" My voice cracked, a hairline fracture I couldn't conceal. "We've been together since before you got that promotion. Before the new apartment. Before." Her eyes flicked up sharply. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." There it was, the irritation. The subtle shift from guilt to defense. Familiar script. "I'm not making anything hard," I said. "Just trying to understand what changed." What changed was a man named Eli. I'd seen the name once on her call log. "An old friend from university," she said. I wanted to believe her. But when she started staying late for strategy meetings, and her texts became shorter, colder, more edited, something inside me turned from love to suspicion, from warmth to calculation. So I followed her. Not in a movie way. No trench coat or binoculars. Just quiet observation. I noted the nights she came home late, the ones when she claimed to be too tired to talk. I memorized the days when her perfume smelled faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. And one Thursday night, I parked 2 blocks from her office and watched her step into a black car with tinted windows. She didn't notice me. She was laughing too hard, her hand brushing the driver's arm. That was the night the flame inside me stopped burning for her, and started burning for the truth. Back at the restaurant, she took a sip of wine and looked anywhere but me. "You're quiet," she said softly. "I'm listening," I murmured. "To you explaining why my toothbrush isn't in your new apartment." Her hand froze midair. "What?" I smiled again, small, controlled. "I stopped by last week. You weren't home. Just wanted to surprise you." She blinked, the faintest tremor of panic rippling across her face. Why would you, Daniel? That's not okay." "It's fine," I said, cutting her off gently. "I just noticed there was less of me there. No pictures. No toothbrush. No mug. Silence. Fragile." Her lips parted. Closed. Opened again. "I was redecorating." "Of course," I said. "And Eli? Is he helping you with that too?" The color drained from her face like water down a sink. There it was. The confession before the words. He tried to laugh. Eli's just a friend. I told you that. Yes, I said. You did. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. Did you tell him about the way you twitch when you lie? Or how you touch your wrist when you feel cornered? Because I've noticed, your hand's been there all night. Her fingers snapped away from her wrist as if burned. The candle between us flickered, its flame bending toward me like it wanted to hear the truth too. You've been following me, she whispered. Only once. Pause. Twice, maybe. Jesus, Daniel. Don't, I said. Don't make this about me. You said you weren't ready to commit. But you already committed to the wrong person. She looked down, tears gathering, but they didn't fall. They just shimmered there, perfectly timed, like an actress nailing her cue. Daniel, she said, voice shaking. I didn't mean to hurt you. Just happened. I didn't plan it. People rarely plan betrayal, I said. It's more like erosion. Low. Silent. You don't notice the ground disappearing until you fall through it. She covered her face. I'm sorry. I stared at her fingers, trembling against her cheeks. You're not sorry. You're scared. There's a difference. And for a heartbeat, I hated myself for saying it, because I still loved her. Even now. Even with the taste of lies thick on my tongue. The waiter brought the check. Neither of us moved. Outside, the city lights blurred against the glass. Amber, blue, and cruelly indifferent. Somewhere out there, Eli was probably waiting for her. Maybe checking his phone, maybe pacing. I signed the receipt. I hope he's worth it. She looked up, startled. Daniel. Understood. You said you weren't ready to commit. But I think you already did. Just not to me. Her lips trembled, but I didn't wait for another excuse. As I stepped out into the night, the cold wind hit me like absolution. The sound of laughter from inside the restaurant faded behind me, replaced by the city's low hum, the kind that feels alive, dangerous, cleansing. I walked to the corner, stopped, and looked back once. Through the window, she was still sitting there, shoulders shaking, staring at the candle between us. The flame had gone out. Epilogue. A week later she texted me. You were right about everything. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my journal and wrote one line. Sometimes love doesn't end with betrayal. It ends with clarity disguised as pain. And for the first time in months I smiled quietly and meant it.